Hey everybody, what's going on? It's wilkyb coming at you with another replay upload here. And in this one, I'm proud to announce that this is game 1 of the best of 3 grand finals for my tournament Help I'm a Rock version 7 here. And this is a game between two heavy hitters, X-OLDMAN, who is a Chinese Advanced Wars player on this website, Advanced Wars by Web. And he's 1650 rated, so he's like top 5 of this entire website. Maybe not top 5, top 10, I think. And his opponent is just.ilom, and just.ilom is about 1500 rated. So there's about 150 points difference between the two of them. This is a really cool game. So I watched this game like 4 or 5 days ago, because it's the 18th today, I think. And this is a really cool replay. I'm really excited to do this video. So, just.ilom is spawning as player 1 here, and OLDMAN is player 2. And on this map, the labs enable the production of recons and tanks. So there is asymmetry on this map with the starting positions. The rest of the map is symmetrical, except for one little part here, the 1 cities. But anyways, the idea here is that player 2 has this starting city down here, but their lab is gray. So if player 2 captures this lab here, then it enables them to do like a recon rush. But it wouldn't be possible unless they had this city here. However, just.ilom can produce a recon as soon as day 3. They can't do the day 2 recon rush, which is unique to player 2. So what goes on in this map, because it's Fog of War, is that player 1 is the stronger standard player, but player 2, they have vision to their advantage, and they also have the more options of build orders to their advantage that they play against their opponent, who is a bit more in the dark because they have a bit more of a standard opener. And in this game, we're going to see a really cool opener from OLDMAN. In my opinion, and in other people's opinions, player 2 is the stronger player on this map, and OLDMAN is the stronger player. So we're going to see some interesting stuff go on in this game. So what we see in this game is a standard opener from just.ilom, where they're heading towards their 2 bases to begin capture immediately, which is quite standard. And now OLDMAN is doing something that I've never seen on this map before, which is really cool, which is the APC rush. The player 2 APC rush. So the one thing about this is that you do have to capture this city, or a city. You have to capture a city first. And so OLDMAN does that so that they can support this rush with the income. And so player 1 does the standard opener, which is you send your infantries, the initial infantries, toward the bases, and then you get the day 3 recon to defend. In the case where player 2 doesn't do this APC rush and they do the recon rush, then this recon will be able to scout if you're being rushed down by a recon from your opponent, player 2. So there's that. And at this point, player 1 is playing quite standard, and player 2 is doing this awesome APC rush with a recon to back it up. So that's awesome. I've never seen this before. So I'm excited to see what happens next. Ooh. Oh, yeah. And so just.ilom, they can see that the APC goes down this way, and so they send the recon that way. And you can see that at this point, just.ilom is quite ahead when it comes to capturing the bases and being able to produce infantry. And OLDMAN is setting that back a couple of turns in order to do this rushing. So we're going to see what happens here. And they start attacking on this bottom base with the infantry. They capture this city as well, which is necessary because player 2 captured the player 1. Player 1 captured this city that was pre-captured for player 2. And so just OLDMAN is making up for it by capturing this one here. And so what happens next is cool, pretty cool. I think if this recon did not land here, then this recon would probably go south. and that would probably cause more trouble for just.ilom. So that's really cool. Really cool to consider. And then this APC comes back to get a little bit more for this rush. So this is so cool. I've never seen this before. So we're going to see how this replay goes. So one thing about this day 3 recon from player 1 is that it's nice and standard. So you'll see a lot of this. But it's also cool because this recon gives lots of information to player 1 who is typically in the darkness. Player 2 has more build orders and stuff that they can do, and so this recon is really important to fish out and figure out what your opponent is doing. So this recon can see that this base is being delayed the capture, and then also on this turn, it goes over here and attacks this recon while also seeing what is going on with their opponent. So this day 3 recon from player 1 is super efficient right now with respect to gaining value from vision. It's so important for player 1 to understand what your opponent is doing, and this recon is doing a really good job at not only gaining vision about what's going on, but also defending the aggression from their opponent. So there's that. And also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it cannot defend this recon. So that's pretty cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But you know what? If this recon stood on this grass tile over here, it could defend this. But then this recon would be coming down this way as well. So that's crazy to think about. But anyways, that's not what's going on in this replay, and so we're just going to progress further with the replay that we've got ahead of us here. And now Old Man starts capturing this bottom base here. Old Man is behind on the capture of the bases, and they're also kind of behind on infantry as well, because they're dedicating themselves to the recon and the APC. Huh. Dum 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 da dum. This is so cool. Keeping the pressure on. You've got so much stuff going on behind enemy lines. I love it. I likes it. This is a good defense. Do 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 do. Bum bum bum. And Old Man is economying up. Good for them. At this point in the game, I kind of do wish I saw... Maybe not, though. An infantry capturing one of the closer cities. Maybe not, though. Maybe I'm being too picky here. So this... What's really cool about this part here is the APC goes to cover this base here, but I'm pretty sure... Honestly, I think the more optimal move to make is to put this recon on top of this base. So we're going to see here what this recon does, because this APC could be ferrying more mechs and infantry over this way. And this recon is just going to get cleaned up. So I kind of wish that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of wish that this APC would ferry more stuff over. But anyways. Some good defense from just.ilom. Dum dum bum bum bum. And a tank to defend these two recons up here. So I think maybe also from Old Man's perspective is that maybe this recon was too much and you produce a mech or something. I feel like 3 recons might be too much, or maybe not, but that's just my feeling. So anyways, without further ado, bum ba bum, do do do. Cleaning up, cleaning things up. This tank So just to note here is that just.ilom is ahead on the tank count by a half a turn because they get to build their tank first, and then Old Man builds their tank in reply to that. I like to see when a tank is making its first move is that it doesn't attack. It does an attack. So I kind of would have liked to see this tank maybe attack this guy here, and this recon backs it up to destroy, to eliminate that. Maybe. I guess that's an option that could happen, but that didn't happen. So anyways, that's just what I think. The APC is getting cleaned up pretty good here. So this APC is really good for a couple of reasons, is because it delays their base capture, but it also requires player one to have to come all the way over here and clean things up with units that could have otherwise been picking off infantry that contributes to the economy of Old Man. So it's really cool. I love this opener from Old Man. I think it's so cool. And also, I think that recon, if there was another mech here, that would be so cool. Like, so anyways, I'm kind of gushing over Old Man and what they're doing here. But anyways. Dum 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 da dum. Old Man. I kind of like Old Man's position, but actually I think what's coming up here I don't like, which is this tank attacking. Do I like that? Let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like this too much, because now the reinforcement, you can't really do that. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, it's short by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oy, I think the previous turn had this tank landed over here, and then it could attack this guy here. Well, maybe not. I think I'm overthinking it. Maybe this attack isn't so bad after all. Because kind of like I said before, is it requires player one to have to defend this instead of positioning their stuff somewhere else. So maybe I don't dislike that per se. But something worthy of noting here is that just.ilom is sending this infantry towards the comm tower up top. So that's really important to note. And Old Man is not. So that's important. But just.ilom is making a lot of the right plays here, in my opinion. He's doing the defenders thing very well. And now we've got 4 tanks versus 2 tanks. But Old Man has to resupply, so... Or rebuild. Or not rebuild, but they have their build coming up, so they're behind until they build things. There's another tank. So I think backing up from this might be a good idea, but I'm not sure. It's good to get 2 kills, that's for sure. To get 2 infantry kills. And I'm not a big fan of this tank position with all of this going on here. However, I don't think just.ilom can see this. Huh. But it's interesting because there's this mech to help defend. But Old Man is behind in the tank count quite a bit in this game. Like crazy right now. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. Because they lost this tank, and they're probably going to lose this tank as well. Yeah, look at that. And there's 2 tanks here. So this is crazy. I gotta say, just.ilom is in a pretty good position now. Because Old Man... It's funny, because Old Man was pressuring so good in the early game. And then just.ilom defended it really, really well. And now just.ilom is coming out ahead with the aggression of their own, with the comm tower. So that's really cool. Da da dum da dum. Boop ba doo. And also, one thing to note is I think that Old Man is going to be ahead economically on this side, where on the opposite side, just.ilom is taking the comm tower lead instead of taking the economic advantage, whereas Old Man is taking the economic advantage instead of the comm tower lead. So that's interesting. And they're giving themselves room to capture these 3 cities in the center. I like that a lot. Old Man. And their power moving towards that city because of the co-power. And right now, I kind of like Old Man's position. It keeps going back and forth. Because with this mech, they're pretty good. And they're going to be pressuring this side over here pretty good. That was a good move. That's a pretty good move. If it killed the recon, that'd be a really good move. But it's on the city here, so I like it. It's not bad. I don't know if it's great. And the recon over here is awesome. This recon is awesome. Just pointing it out, because this tank wants to be over here to defend this front line and maybe pick off a tank or something, because look at what's going on over here. But instead, this tank is going to have to pull over here and defend this recon, kill this recon, in order for Old Man to go and capture their comm tower without a headache of that recon being there. And then ilom. just.ilom is kind of overextending here. It actually probably wouldn't be bad for just.ilom to pick off just an infantry here, in my opinion, and sit on top of the city. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, yeah, I'm being over analytical here. This is a good move. And this is a good move. Cleaning things up, cleaning stuff up. Clean it up. Still the recon there, which is pretty annoying. We'll see what gets built out of this base over here. Capture, capture. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, that's all you can do, really, is attack from there, and you're pretty safe. Bum, 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 ba, bum. Doo, doo, doo. Yeah, so this tank goes over here. And this tank, I would really want this tank to be over here to support. Because it takes basically 2 turns to set this tank up now that the recon is out of the way. Because of that recon, it takes a while for that tank to be in a good position. There's a battlecopter here. I think this is probably really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's good because it can attack these tanks here. So we'll see what just.ilom does in the next turn. Because repositioning behind this line of scrimmage here makes it so that this battlecopter can't reach. Dum 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 da dum. Do do do. So just.ilom, I like this battlecopter a lot now, actually, because just.ilom is going beyond enemy lines, kind of thing. And you know what? I'm pretty sure just.ilom, if they attacked with this tank here on this infantry and then sat on top of this base, that they'd be in really, really good shape. But that's kind of scary. That's kind of risky. You don't know what's hidden in the darkness, I guess. And they also want to secure the more open, obvious things. Yeah, I think this is good, what just.ilom is doing here. And this battlecopter now is going to be pretty good because just.ilom has gone over that line of scrimmage where the battlecopter can reach. And then we see an artillery, because just.ilom has a lot of units. So artilleries are really good when you have a body block. And he's got that here, except it's going to get cleaned up over here. I think it's going to get cleaned up pretty good. So he's not going to have much left for this artillery to fall behind. But we'll see. Oh, you know what? But this tank can't reach this 5 health tank, so... Dum 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 da dum. Bum ba bum. Medium tank. So Old Man's got the first medium tank out. What do we got here? Huh, that's pretty cool. And also, Old Man took the lead with income, I think, for the first time. And that's partly because they've skipped the comm tower, whereas just.ilom has gotten the comm tower. Otherwise, they'd probably be equal by now if just.ilom skipped the comm tower. And also, just to note that, like, this comm tower has been so effective for player one, for just.ilom, because when you have a comm tower and you only have like 1 or 2 units that go and attack your opponent, then you're really not getting that much value out of the comm tower that otherwise could have been gained through economic development through capturing cities. So it's funny because Old Man in this game has been the aggressor for the first, like, 8 or 9 turns, 10 turns. And then just.ilom is in a really good position with lots of attacking units at the same time that he captures the comm tower. So Old Man was the aggressor, and now it's going to be just.ilom being the aggressor with the comm tower. And how much value they've been gaining with all of the units that they use to attack. Like, it's so good, this comm tower, at this point in the game. So I kind of like that just.ilom is kind of overextending here, because they're gaining a lot of value from this comm tower. So that's really cool. And then they back up over here. I think we need to go back. Yeah. So this artillery is really valuable because they have the big body block going on there. And then just.ilom is sending some tanks towards the south. So again, this positioning for just.ilom is looking really good right now. Huh, look at that. They joined? I think I might have... Oh, no, because this guy will step on there. Okay, that's fine. Bum, ba, bum. And the medium tank. Which way is it going to go? Let's see. Okay, go south. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it wouldn't really gain that much value up here. The medium tank. Big plays? Big play! Oh, yeah. This artillery is really, really good right now, though. And triple tank and a recon. Cool. Dun 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 dum bum 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 ba dum bum ba bum do do do. God damn. Oh, nice. Nice move. Cleaning up. Cleaning it up a little bit. Backing up. How about that? Dum 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 da dum do do do. So now just.ilom is getting their first medium tank, and that's like 2 turns after Old Man does that. Gets their first medium tank. Transfer copters for both players to go for the island. Superpower. Here we go. That was was that a lucky roll? I think that's really lucky. Dum da da dum da 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 dum da dum. And personally, I think Old Man is feeling pretty thin right now. But oh man, that was really cool. I gotta back that up. I think I went ahead. Oh yeah, that was it. So there's this artillery that was giving him trouble the previous turn, and so with the superpower, then he can find a hole, he can find a gap, and then he can get in there and attack the artillery. And there's a battlecopter that is built, and an anti-air that is built. So I don't know what I think of this anti-air. Actually, you know what? I think at this point, anti-air would be good. And then medium tank and tank or something. I don't like this battlecopter very much because you can't really get value out of it because of this anti-air that's here that's just going to kill it. And also, you're only in you're only in range of attacking either this tank or this infantry here, which then the anti-air is just going to come and clean you up. So I think building this battlecopter down here, or just skipping a battlecopter altogether and just triple tank or like medium tank, tank would be good. And then this medium tank is repositioning. So truly, part of me says that if you're moving a high value unit and you're not attacking with it, then that's not ideal, in my opinion. So I think Old Man is kind of rearranging this turn, and this is going to set him back, in my opinion. Even though he's ahead in the army value, but he's down in the unit count, I just think this turn was kind of inefficient with this battlecopter and the AA. Would be better spent on tanks, and then this medium tank. I don't know, it's hard to say. And at this point, just.ilom is ahead in the economy. Bum, 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 bum. Cleaning up a lot down here. So this center line here is going to be in trouble. So that's trouble. Medium tank attacks. Yeah. 2 medium tanks. That's a big deal. And then this battlecopter cleans up here, because that's really the only option it's got. And then a neo tank. So another thing, like I've said this before, but the comm tower for just.ilom is so big. It's been such a huge bonus for the past 5 turns, where Old Man has been behind on that. So big value. I think the comm tower here has been really, really, really valuable for all of the fighting that just.ilom has been doing in the second half of this game. Nice. Good move. Artillery attack. Oh, the superpower, so it can reach further. Nice. Bum, bum. And that can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What the? Where did it come from? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Damn, that's huge. That's such a good superpower. And it destroys the medium. Man. That's a big deal. That was a big... This is a big turn. This is a really big turn for just.ilom. Kind of like I said, is this medium tank. This medium tank switching sides. It just feels like there's a big gap. Switching that medium tank over here. Yeah, that's how I feel. So this was a big turn for just.ilom. So we'll see what happens next. Old man. He's encroaching upon, well, he's coming upon this comm tower finally. Quite late. And then because old man doesn't have the comm tower, then he can't really clear a medium tank. If he had a comm tower, then he would definitely be able to clear this one medium tank. So there's just one thing to indicate there. And then I think at this point, this is the point of no return. This is two really valuable turns for just.ilom in a row. Yeah, and that battlecopter. It's kind of dangerous. Kind of dangerous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah, now just.ilom is going to be capturing on old man's economic side over here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this game is over now. Which is really cool. Because just.ilom is both the higher... just.ilom is the lower rated player. And on this map, people typically give the favor to player 2. So it's cool to see that old man is the higher rated player. And they're playing as the player on this map. I call it race. They're playing as player 2 on this map, who is generally seen as the advantaged player, which is typically what people think. And old man is losing this game. So that's kind of cool. So maybe player 2, spawning as player 2 is not as strong as people like to imagine. Because just.ilom is going to lose this game, I think. Looking at the board. And we're going to power through this one. Yeah, that's pretty much over. And I'm pretty sure he resigns. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that was a good game. The kind of like I said just a couple minutes ago is the comm tower. After turn 11, just.ilom just basically turned it on and was the aggressor in the game, and the comm tower enabled so much value out of the aggression from just.ilom past turn 11, I think it was. So it's funny because like I said, is the aggressor at the beginning of the game is usually player 2, and they're in the face of their opponent. And then when just.ilom defends that properly and does a really good job of that, and then they also capture the comm tower, then their counter aggression beyond the beginning of the game, like going into the early mid game, is really valuable. So that's really cool. Another cool thing was this build order from old man. I think there's some things that you could do. Like there's variety to this build order as well. Like in theory, you could skip because old man was behind in the economy, going into like the mid game in particular. And also in the early game, he's behind in economy because he's investing in attacking his opponent with the recons and the APC rush. But at the same time, I think you could maybe skip this lab and send this infantry towards the base up here. And then you have both of your bases, like basically a turn and a half sooner or 2 turns sooner or whatever. Because being behind on the bases so much is a pretty big deal. So you would have to skip the recon, I think, because you wouldn't have this lab as soon. So anyways, just a lot of theory crafting here. And even with the way that this replay has gone, there are things that could have gone differently for old man. Like I said, is this recon, I think, could go and sit on top of this. Oops. This recon could go and sit on top of this guy here. So I'll show you. Instead of parking the APC, you can park the recon over here. Dun, dun. This is weird. It's kind of screwing up. So after you clear this, park the recon over here, and then keep funneling the mechs and the infantries over in this direction where you kind of know that there's going to be a tank. So if you place a mech here, or like in this forest or something, like that's really a really good move, I think. But anyways, I'm just theory crafting here. So yeah, pretty cool game. Gotta admit, this is probably one of the coolest games I've seen on this map with respect to build order variety, and also the outcome. Old Man is the advantaged player on the presumably advantaged spawning as player 2, and they lost. So that's pretty cool. So haters are gonna hate because there's haters out there who think that player 2 breaks this map, and that's just not true. So anyways, without getting into that, really cool game. And this is just game 1. So the next time we see, the next game we see on this map, it's going to be Old Man spawning as player 1. And just.ilom is the one who's going to have to be aggressing on their opponent, or maybe not. Maybe they play economically. So, all right, you guys. So that'll do it for this game. I'm not sure when the next one will come out. Probably like in a month's time. It takes about that long. So anyways, if you like the video, if you like the replay and the map and stuff, then like and subscribe and join the Discord, and you can come hang out and talk about map making in a different way, because this map is very different, and I get a lot of flack for that. There's a lot of really odd politics that goes on in this community. So anyways, not to ruin this video, so I'm just going to end it here. Okay, guys? So thank you for watching. I appreciate your viewership. And we'll see you next time. Okay, cheers.